Welcome everyone. So the topic for today's satsang was rejection. If in the process of yoga you have turned away from this outer world, this outer dimension of senses, sense objects, and you have experienced a little of the inner dimension, then it is divine through the grace that pours herself into us to support us on this journey. Our personal effort is needed as long as our lower nature, which is full of samskaras, is active. And what is the nature of the effort? It has three components: aspiration, rejection, and surrender. Rejection is the second piece of this three-pointed effort. You have to aspire for divine, and then in response to this aspiration, divine descends into our system. When she begins her operation, this will activate the samskaras to resist that operation. And it's part of our effort to reject their promptings, to not act upon their promptings. And it shows in detail. Aurobindo doesn't give us any place to hide out. In the mental, in the vital, in the physical, we have to reject the prompting of the samskara in all the components. Because you will see when he got to surrender, he said, you will have to surrender oneself and all one is and has, and every plane of consciousness and every movement of consciousness within us to divine and the Shakti. This rejection of the movements of the lower nature, all that we believe, all the opinions, theories we have intellectually about what is important, what is sacred even. We have so much that we think we know. Our entire personality is composed and expressed as a function of our samskaras. All the thoughts that stream through our head in a never-ending loop. The memories we hold on to. The projections into the future we make based on our current experience. I'm experiencing a bit of fear. Oh my God, is the rest of my life going to be like this? You're experiencing fear or anxiety or discomfort now. Tomorrow is a new day. The next instant is a new instant. But yet, what does the mind do? It projects. And even when we are not having an experience, the mind very helpfully reminds us that yesterday we were having that experience. What if it recurs now? Takes us right back to it, even though there's nothing going on. The intellect constructs great frameworks and beliefs and theories of what life is or what existence is, and people dedicate their entire lives to these theories and beliefs. Entire systems of religion and governance and ways of living spring up around them. See, simple samskara establishes itself not just in an individual, but in an entire group, an entire nation, an entire body of people. And look at the power it can take on. So we are asked in our system to recognize this and reject its impulses. But in order for you to reject, first you have to become aware that it is the samskara. If we are identified, then there is no chance to reject anything, because that is you. You don't know it is a samskara that's prompting you. So that is why the same rejection in the first part of the journey is capsuled as the do's and don'ts of the yoga, the yamas and the niyamas, cultivating the good habits and restraining the bad habits, because that is all we can think of. It is only after we become aware of ourselves that from that awareness we can see that we have thoughts, we have beliefs, we are having this experience in our vital. Only then can we have any hope of saying, oh, this is a samskara, let me reject it. And you can see that in the mind, ideas, opinions, preferences, habits, constructions, all of those that we have are samskaras. They are mental constructs that are filtering the interaction between you as pure consciousness and the consciousness that is life, that is arising in every moment. In between is sitting this mental filter that controls what you perceive. When we attenuate or burn or transform or purify ourselves from these samskaras, the filter gets reduced or goes away, and then the consciousness that we are perceives life as it is, unfiltered. Rejection of the vital natures, desires, demands, cravings, sensation, passion, selfishness, pride, arrogance, lust, greed, jealousy, envy, hostility to the truth. Vital, where the vital drives originate from. The vital where our desires sit. All our base passions and attributes, lust, greed, jealousy, envy, hatred, our sense of arrogance, selfishness, all of these have to be rejected. The hard part in the rejection, once you know that you have to reject, is identifying them. Identifying them is not possible if you're already in the samskara. It's only when you have some space, some distance from the samskara. When the mind has some silence in it, you become aware of your thoughts. Some people have been aware of their thoughts all along. That's the state in which you resumed your journey. Then we bring our senses under control. We are aware of our greed, our desires, our passions, and we get some distance from them. But there are some things that we believe wholeheartedly. Our notions of God, our notions of what is good, our notions of right and wrong, and just the simple stuff, aspects of our ego that we cannot see because we have not made the vital transparent enough to see through to what is our ego nature acting. And that is why we call yoga a process. It's a process. And it starts with us having an aspiration. And the rejection, we will fail at it. We will fail many, many, many times. And that's okay. As long as we pick ourselves up and continue, it is okay to fail. That is how we're going to learn. And rejection of the physical, stupidity, doubt, disbelief, obscurity, obstinacy, pettiness, laziness, unwillingness to change. Tamas. Tamas, the guna of tamas is what veils us in ignorance. As long as there is tamas in the system, even knowing that we are in the possession of an active samskara is difficult. When there is sufficient sattva in the system, from there we can see all these samskaras. When we are in the grip of rajas, we will be aware that a samskara is active, but we will not have the ability to restrain that samskara or reject its operation. So you always in rejection go through these three stages. In the beginning, you don't know that it is a samskara. That is just you and you act. You become a little bit aware, your awareness grows, and then you become aware that it is a samskara, and you know you should resist it or reject its promptings, but you are unable to. And then your awareness grows even further until one day you know it's a samskara, the prompting is arising, and you know to step back and maintain that distance. And one fine day, you completed that cycle of just witnessing that samskara arise and pass. Once you get used to it in one component with one samskara, you start getting better and better and better at it. As we get better at it and more that we witness, our awareness grows. Every time a samskara is transformed or weakened, the consciousness that was embedded or trapped in identification with that samskara is released, and your awareness grows. This is why this rejection step goes on as long as you have active samskaras in your lower nature. And you have to always be vigilant for some deep-seated ones to wake up.